So we'll go with the fan pick first. Now, guys, we got a lot of comments about this artist because last podcast we spoke, about her extensive catalog, the fact that she's still making great music today, and actually she's going to be putting out a new album in the coming weeks. So for this Hall of Fame induction or nomination, I'd like to nominate Mary J. Blige's ex-boyfriend's group, Jodeci.
Oh my god. What the heck?
Can I make my case?
Yes.
Well, first of all, you have Devontae, Dalvin, Casey, and JoJo. So we're also going to include Casey and JoJo into this conversation because they did do some great things on their own as well. But guys, I think this is a pretty straightforward yes for me. A definite yes. The impact that they had, they only really released 3 albums. I'm not even going to include their last one because it wasn't very good. But
man, jeez.
I mean, of the 3,
he ain't wrong.
of the 3, I would say I don't know if there are any classic 5-star albums from them, but the impact that they had on R&B when we look at some of the groups that came out later from the 112s, the Drew Hills, and the Jagged Edge, they all came from that Jodeci tree as far as their image and even as far as the way that they were singing on songs, the subject matter. And then you can't forget about Casey and JoJo as well. All My Life is like one of the biggest R&B songs of the 90s. And yeah, they're in for me. And lastly, of course, Devontae branched out and brought us Timbaland, Genuine, and Missy. So that was cool too. So they're in for me.
Well, I think this is an open shut case, player. As I was talking about a little bit earlier in the conversation, and something that's kind of overlooked today, they really changed the game for R&B. They really took the genre into a different direction when they landed in 91 because they mixed R&B and hip-hop in a way that was very fresh at the time, because as much as people look back on New Jack Swing and really miss that era, listen, player, by 91, New Jack Swing was getting very old because everyone was doing the same thing. And here these guys are coming. They took a little bit of New Jack Swing, took a little bit of that classic Motown sound, layered hip-hop over it, and it just was a game changer. And from there, from Mary J. Blige to R. Kelly, later on Usher, and the Drew Hills and the 112s and the Jagged Edges, all of that kind of followed the vein that they started. I don't know if I would call any of their albums 5 stars. I have to go back and listen. But Forever My Lady is probably a classic. I can probably say that just from the influence that it had alone. So, without question, they are Hall of Famers. No question.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. The only thing I'll add is that I'm glad you bunched Casey and JoJo in here. I wouldn't, if you had picked them individually, Casey and JoJo, I wouldn't have had them as Hall of Famers. So,
no.
But definitely Jodeci.
No, I don't think Casey and JoJo has. I have to go back and listen, but I don't remember them having a good album.
Ed?
I don't. I was not a big fan of the Casey and JoJo era. So I'd have to go back and listen to it again. All My Life was played all of my life, and I don't ever want to hear that song again. So,
yeah.
Although it was very successful, it also got on my last nerve because it was just so ever present. But as far as their albums and stuff, I don't remember it being anything that special. So, no, not on their own, but as a collective, no question.